From the stormy coasts of the north came warriors bound not by blood but by an oath, the Varangians, towering figures from distant lands whose loyalty was bought not with gold but with silver. Emperor Basil II turned to these foreign warriors. They came on ships across the Black Sea, fierce, fearless, and untouched by the politics of the court. This is the Age of Empires 4 Macedonian Dynasty. The heart of the Macedonian Dynasty's economy is their unique resource, silver. Varangian Arsenals spread their influence to nearby mining camps and town centres, allowing them to process silver over time. When villagers mine gold or stone, they also uncover veins of galena, yielding silver equal to 40% of what they extract. The Varangian Arsenal is where the dynasty truly shines. It replaces both the blacksmith and the university, and it is here that the Macedonian dynasty can research unique military technologies, all fueled by silver. Unlike other civilizations, the Macedonian dynasty do not stop at the third tier of upgrades. They can push to 6 full tiers of attack and armor improvements. We're used to seeing upgrades for melee and ranged units. Instead, the Macedonian dynasty's upgrades are divided into 3 categories: melee infantry, ranged, and cavalry, allowing for deeper specialization and late-game dominance. Of course, there is always a trade-off, and the Macedonian dynasties do not have a university, which means that they do indeed lack certain technologies like biology, incendiary arrows, silk bowstrings, and elite army tactics, but they do make up for it with their own unique advancements. Fortifications increases the health of every building by 10% per tier, up to 6 times. Iron fittings boosts the health of siege units by 5% per tier. And then there are special weapon technologies. Ruinous blinding, which allows the Bogmaðr archers to weaken enemy damage by 20%. And then there's Rompfire, where the Varangian Guards and Riddari wield the legendary curved sword, increasing their attack statistics by 3. The Macedonian dynasty's strongholds not only replace the standard barracks, but also allows the dynasty to make all of the Varangian units. It serves as both production centers and defensive fortresses, with the ability to research arrow-slits for it. But a very unique part of the Macedonian dynasty's war machine lies in the Varangian Warcamp. As soldiers die in battle, the Warcamp can call forth free Varangian warriors to replace them. If built near water, even ships can join the reinforcements, galleys and attack ships returning to avenge the fallen. Each Varangian that witnesses the destruction of a landmark or town centre rewards the Empire with a bounty of silver, thanks to the Palatine upgrade. The more destruction you cause, the richer that your empire becomes. Every Varangian fight is remembered. With Varangian Runestones, you can carve monuments to past victories. When enough enemies fall to your Varangian units, a runestone can be created, inspiring nearby warriors with combat bonuses and strengthening your army through sheer legend. And when war turns to fire, similar to the Byzantines, the Macedonian dynasty can turn to one of the most feared weapons of the medieval world, Greek fire. Their version of the rams, the Chirosyphons, can hurl bursts of liquid flame, engulfing enemies in burning devastation. Similarly to the Byzantines, the Macedonian dynasty's defenses can also be enhanced with mangonel emplacements. The Macedonian dynasty military, at its core, are the Varangian units, a blend of Norse strength and Byzantine discipline. The Atgeirmaðr, it replaces the traditional spearman, a light melee fighter best used against cavalry. It grows stronger surrounded by allies, gaining attack speed with every Varangian nearby. The Bogmaðr serves as the archer replacement, a swift ranged infantryman whose arrows can pierce armor using the unwavering focus ability. However, it is temporary and costs some movement speed. Then comes the early Varangian Guard. Taking the place of the man-at-arms, these heavily armoured soldiers can enter a berserking state. This trades some armour for immense damage. They can even enhance the armour of transport ships when garrisoned, making the Macedonian Dynasty's transport ships a little bit harder to destroy. Finally, in the Castle Age, the Riddari can make an appearance. A heavy cavalry unit that can switch to throwing axes, dealing powerful ranged melee damage for a short time. Strong in close combat, devastating in pursuit, but vulnerable to spearmen and crossbowmen. It is the Macedonian Dynasty's equivalent of the knight or lancer. Now, whilst the Macedonian Dynasty rely on their Varangian units, they can still retain access to some of the traditional Age of Empires 4 units, including the crossbowmen, hand cannoneers, horsemen, and scouts, keeping the army's roster flexible and full of options. Their siege and navy are also pretty deadly. The Kyrosyphons acts as a battering ram armed with Greek fire, just as the Byzantines have access to, while the Dromon replaces the springald ship, turning naval combat into a storm of burning oil and flame. The Macedonian Dynasty landmarks reflect their dual heritage of faith, war, and innovation. The Grand Winery serves as both a mill and a monastery. Within its aura, villagers can gather food 30% faster, and relics stored inside produce silver instead of gold. Of course, steering a little bit away from the traditional Byzantine civilization, because of course, there is no olive oil for the Macedonian dynasty. The Imperial Hippodrome for the Macedonian dynasty acts as a stable, but rather than the Byzantine light cavalry, it can train champions. Each champion inspires surrounding troops, increasing torch damage, boosting cavalry attack, and speeding up infantry movements. The Cistern of the First Hill strengthens the Empire's economy, holding 9 charges that can be used to boost military or resource production, even generating bursts of gold, wood, or food over time. The Golden Horn Tower stands tall, a fortified landmark with crossbow emplacements, free batches of crossbowmen, and the ability to detect stealth and disguise. And in the Imperial Age, the Macedonian dynasties reach new heights of power with 2 choices. The Foreign Engineering Company, which allows the production of powerful siege engines. Nest of Bees, Hui Hui Pao, and Royal Cannons, all purchasable with silver. Or the Palatine School, a military academy capable of producing elite cataphracts in large batches. Again, using silver as the source of might. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. A special shout out to the YouTube channel members. And if you're looking for a lot more content for the new Age of Empires 4 Dynasties of the East DLC, I've got a full playlist ready for you. Just click the end card on your screen right now to find out about the other civilizations, as well as likely some casted games for this new DLC. As always, I appreciate your support on the channel. Take care, and see you next time.